For me, winter is such a difficult season. You have this constant push and pull. You have the pull of, if you're an outdoor person, you want to be outside. You want to spend time outside. It's a part of your life. But then you have the other part that's saying it's 20 degrees outside. There's snow piled up everywhere. That's like the reasonable side of you. And I think you kind of have to find a way to balance the two sides. And sometimes you have to be a little crazy. So it's 20 degrees right now. We are gonna reach 30 today. So I decided that I would venture outside. I'm at Ridley Creek. The snow is still really deep. I'm gonna show you. I have my spikes on and we're gonna attempt to walk the paved trail. But around here, like that, you can see the mansion up there in the snow. It looks beautiful. I was just over at the gardens taking a few pictures. I'll include that. But it's just really difficult conditions to get around. As you can see, everything has this frozen layer on it. It's not helping today is the wind. It's quite windy. So that makes you definitely feel a lot colder. But it still feels good to be out here. So I'm wearing some of my favorite winter gear from Trailheads. I have on their convertible women's mittens, which I love for filming. And if you're a YouTuber or photographer, you know the pain of taking your hands out in the cold to work your camera equipment. That's why I love these Trailheads mittens. They protect part of my hand. I can do what I need to do. And then I also like to put a hot hands in here too, to give my hands a little extra warmth. I have on their cozy fleece cap, and I love this too because the ponytail holder. So I'll have some links in my description if you're interested in checking out this company. But they're based in Connecticut. They design all their products for women and men who love to run and hike and spend time outdoors. And everything I've ever bought from them has been super high quality and has lasted. And they are just one of my favorite small brands to support. So I'm dressed a little differently today. I have on my jeans, and that's because when I wear my merino wool base layer with my fleece line leggings on top of it, I feel like it's almost too tight. And I was reading online how it's really good to have like an air gap between the layers. So with the jeans, I can have on the base layer and then have a little bit baggier fit. So that's why I'm trying those today. It's a little weird to walk in jeans, but we're just doing a paved trail. I also didn't bring my hiking backpack with me. I have a tote bag because I don't want to have to keep stopping to pull out camera equipment and things like that. I want to keep moving to make sure I stay warm. Lastly, I am wearing my regular hiking boots today, but I have spikes on them. And this really helps, especially when we have this very thick snow that is now covered in an icy coating. You're going to have fantastic grip. So let's check out this sign. So this is a historic trail bridge. It was built in the early 1900s. This historic bridge provided early mansion access and is now the park's multi-use trail entrance. So if you've never hiked the paved trail at Ridley Creek, it's amazing. It's great for biking. It's great for pushing a stroller. It is hilly. Now, just to give you an idea of conditions, it is slippery, so you are going to want to have spikes. This is the old schoolhouse, constructed in 1870 as an original one-room Edgemont schoolhouse. Students from 1st through 8th grade gain their basic education here prior to apprentice work or optional higher education in high school or beyond, and it's on the listing of the National Historic Register. And this is somebody's private home, so we're not going to go any closer. And I think one of the coolest things about Ridley Creek is that you can see so many of these historic buildings and ruins and things right from this multi-use trail. I have another video on my channel page where I take you to some of the different ruins and things that are all accessible right from this trail. So I'll have a card come up to show you that in the top right. Sorry about the squeaking. My spikes are gonna just make this noise the whole time probably. But it always amazes me because I'm like, who would want to go out in weather like this? Am I crazy? And then I get out here and I see several people out here enjoying it. And so this says 1938 Pennsylvania Department of Highways. Pretty cool. Trail conditions really are a mixed bag. Some sections are plowed perfectly clean. Other sections like this are just a sheet of ice. And then we've got this packed down snow. So Darcy at Darcy's Hiking Diaries has a challenge this year to try to visit 25 state parks in 2026. And this is for the 250 anniversary of our country. And so she has a challenge going where you can earn a sticker. So I'll put a link to her page in my description. But for me, this will be my second state park of the year. So this one is also private resident. This is Cordog's Bottom, 124 acre farm owned by John Hickens. It was sold to Nathan Evans in 1722, and then a stone addition was added on the log cabin in 1770. Pretty cool looking. The other thing that's so neat about walking here is so many of these residences are still lived in by people that rent them today from the state park. And you can smell that smell of wood smoke burning. Maybe a lot of them have a fireplace or a wood burning stove, and really cozy to smell that as you're walking along and just admire all the older buildings. So my face is starting to freeze, so I'm gonna put on this little neck gaiter thing, but these really help in that you can pull them down to talk or drink water, but then you can pull them back up to kind of protect your face from the weather, because that's what happens to me. My skin is getting so cold and so dried out. I moisturized before I went today, so maybe that will help. The other thing that really helps is the hot hands hand warmers. So I put them in my gloves and just got them in there with the flip up fingerless gloves and mitten combo, and it really helps keep you warm. And they make them for your feet too. So you can see how frozen the creek is. There are some open spots, but a lot of ice down there. My daughter was home from break from college, and we were going to go visit a friend of hers out at Penn State. So I'd booked a hotel. I said I would drive her out there and then I would go hiking, check out some new state parks. But of course, the weekend we planned to go was the weekend we got the major storm. So we ended up having to cancel. And that's just the frustrating thing about winter. You make plans and so many times you have to cancel them. But it is what it is. This is so funny to see the bench like this. Yeah, there's bench, but good luck sitting on it with all the snow that got plowed up. All right, so we're coming up to some more ruins, so I'm going to show you these. So this is the Phoebe Hamill home. These ruins were once home for the widow Phoebe Hamill, who built her house in 1783. It's believed that Mrs. Hamill moved here with her young daughter to begin a new life after losing her husband, and she also spent time prior to 1807 living up in Cordog's Bottom, just up the trail. When you stand here now, it's really hard to believe that, you know, maybe, I don't know, 10 weeks from now, there's going to be fishermen and their waders out in the creek fishing for trout, and it's going to be springtime and things are going to be starting to get green again. So we just have to hang in there a little bit longer. I think one of the best things about getting out in the winter is, even if it's a quick neighborhood walk, even if it's just a paved trail like this, the sense of accomplishment, and you feel a little bit alive part of the time because you're freezing and it heightens all your senses, but it just makes you feel good to get outside. And if you're an outdoor person like me, you'll know that this is critical to your well-being, just staying sane in the winter. You've got to get out here, you've got to push through, and I'm always glad I did. These are never going to be my longest hikes, my best hikes, but they keep me going. All right, I've had enough. I'm pretty cold, so I'm heading back to the car. All right, so we're making our way back to the car, passing that old schoolhouse again. We're gonna come up by that bridge. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed seeing the beautiful winter scenery at Ridley Creek. If you're a winter person, get out there, try to enjoy it. If you're not, hang in there. Spring will be on its way before you know it. You don't have much longer to go. Also, be sure to check out my channel page if you want to see more of Ridley Creek, more ruins, more trails. I've got so many videos. This is probably my most explored park, so check that out on my channel page.